buenas a todos, señores, señoritas, animales y lo que haya por allá, que estamos en otro vídeo de Genshin Impact. Y bueno, conseguí el logro duelista milenario, obtener un total de 150.000 monedas de la suerte. Madre mía, la que estamos liando con las cartas. Y nada, teníamos que seguir por ahí, ¿de acuerdo? Ha salido un evento nuevo temporal de minerales y no sé qué. Ya se verá qué es, pero de momento voy a intentar avanzar hoy en esto. A ver, ¿qué tal? Hirotatsu.
This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while.
Hola.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Gracias, eso haremos. ¿Podemos dar una vuelta por el patio?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Se agradece gente tan amable por aquí.
Hello, dears. Is there something
Disculpe,
you want
¿podría
to
hacerle un
say?
par de preguntas?
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know?
¿Cómo han estado el comisionado de la señorita Kamisato estos
Oh,
días?
they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations. As for the commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So pretty much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Ayato sigue a cargo de la comisión Yashiro y Ayaka sigue siendo la dama de la casa. No ha cambiado nada. Por lo que veo tampoco ha habido ningún cambio en la comisión Yashiro. Ya me esperaba algo así, pero me tranquiliza saber que Ayato y Ayaka están bien.
Well, got any more questions?
Eso es todo por ahora, muchas gracias.
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know.
Me siento halagado.
I mean it. Whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them, and the commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home. But given the opportunity, he always prefers to dine here. They say it's because Toma's a much better chef than most. Oh, the commissioner is so fond of home comforts. They get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond tone. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start talking about people they've met and experiences they've had.
Muy bien, cómo se enrolla, lo siento, pero...
Many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, it makes me so happy to see them meet a dependable friend whose company they enjoy so much. So, In the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters.
Muchas gracias, aprecio mucho a los miembros del clan Kamisato.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying something about the food here being really great. Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come pay a visit again real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of course. You're always welcome.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
A Tatarasuna.
Great! Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right, then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
Sí, soon, very soon.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Sí.
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Bueno, pues ve a Tatarasuna para buscar pistas, así que tenemos que ir allí. Tío, oigo, vuelo como si fuera quemado, tío. No entiendo. Es un poco raro, ¿eh? No sé si es una paranoia o qué coño pasa, tío.
You want to use my hat as
A ver
an
si va a acabar
umbrella?
chamuscado.
The audacity to even make that request.
A ver. Hostia, Xavier, el pesado de Xavier.
Here we are.
No puede ser.
But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the traveler and Paimon?
Xavier? What are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
A ver, ¿conoces bien Tatarasuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
¿Cómo de familiarizado estás con la historia de esta zona?
Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
Continúa, por favor, te escucho.
Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way.
Con un mecánico, parece que Doctor Ed saboteó el horno de la forja y dio lugar a todo el subsiguiente caos.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna?
Estoy en ello, tranquila,
I didn't
Paimon.
realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
No, hombre,
What
no.
brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire
Algo
for
así, entonces,
historical
¿puedo hacer una
knowledge?
pregunta más?
Sure, go ahead.
¿Has oído hablar de un kabuki mono relacionado con
A
Tatarasuna?
kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word, Inazuman, for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
Así que ya no hay kabuki mono. Realmente logró Scara borrarse de la historia por completo. Si es así, debe haber querido cambiar el mundo y revertir todo a la forma en la que estaba. Pero hasta ahora parece que la mayoría de los cambios solo le han afectado a él mismo. Gracias, Xavier.
Of course! Don't mention it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Bueno, ha sido un placer, Xavier. No se ha enrollado tanto
Looks
esta
like
vez.
you got all the information you're looking for.
Hora de volver y hacer una visita a la reina menor Kusanagi.
Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you. Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Gracias, Paimon.
Hey, don't mention it. All right, Let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Bueno, veamos. ¡Uy! Ecos del pasado. Ojo, poca broma, ¿eh? Vale, interesante. Bueno, ahí tenemos las recompensas. Primero el logro, wait a moment. Ecos del pasado, descubre las consecuencias de que Skara entrara al Irminsul. Vale, pues ahora el objetivo es ir allí. Pues nada, vayamos para allí, sin miedo, señores. Bueno, visita fugaz a Inazuma. Siempre está bien volver a visitar Inazuma, la verdad. Siempre se agradece visitar Inazuma porque es un lugar precioso, tío. Precioso, con un ambiente único, magistral, estratosférico, apabullante, exquisito. Una delicia no solo visual, sino sonora. Bueno, vamos a ver. Sigamos. Vale, hay que meterse al santuario, ¿no? De acuerdo. Ah, cuidado. Parece una estela.
Hey, it's them.
Hola. Acaba. Pues a ver si acabamos ya.
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
¿Todavía están hablando sobre la tesis?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Me parece bien. Estos dos han investigado el pasado de Tatarasuna. Escuchemos que nos cuentan sobre ello.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real
Lo que
progress.
escribieron la última vez me pareció genial.
Of course.
Bueno, quien lo quiera leer lo tiene ahí, pero poca broma, ¿eh? Largo es. Cuidado con esto, ¿eh? Por algún motivo esto sale en amarillo, señores. Y esto también. A lo mejor es importante recordarlo, pero hostia. No sé. Bueno.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
Venga, vamos a ver. Aquí está el otro. También con alguna parte amarilla. De acuerdo. El contenido es distinto al de la ocasión anterior. Otra consecuencia más de haber modificado la información del Irminsul. Skara dijo que eliminaría 2 de sus identidades. No habrá sido fácil conseguir lo que tanto deseaba, pero aún así...
What do you think?
Es una obra maestra.
Hey, Traveler, remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
¿Por qué no?
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Les cuentan a los investigadores lo que averiguaste sobre las 5 escuelas.
So many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh.
Sí.
You heard this from a member of the Armanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really
Tenemos
into
unos
this.
asuntos de los que
Oh,
ocuparnos.
I'm so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Sí, no te preocupes. De acuerdo, pues nada, ahora sí, tocará hablar con Nahida. Así que nos metemos dentro.
Follow me.
Hostia, a ver qué ocurre, porque huele a que en algún momento de esta misión de Arconte nos van a soltar alguna perlita de información interesante. Y la siguiente misión de Arconte, poca broma con esa, ¿eh? Con esa sí, poca broma. Vale, ya hemos entrado, ¿eh? Vamos a ver qué ocurre aquí ahora. A ver, Nahida.
Nahida, we're here.
Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up, And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma.
Estuvimos investigando el asunto de Scara.
Balladeer? It sounds like some kind of code name.
Ay, no.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Ni siquiera Naida lo recuerda. Tal y como sucedió la última vez, cualquier cambio en el Irminsul le afectará a ella también. Tal y como yo pensaba, Scara actúa con rapidez. Consiguió eliminarse a sí mismo antes de que Naida lograse detenerle. Soy el único que recuerda todo lo que ha sido eliminado. Tendré que hacer de cronista una vez más.
Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
Hay cosas que solo yo puedo recordar. No puedo ocultarles la verdad por más tiempo. Muy a tu pesar, ordenas los pequeños indicios y pistas que has logrado recuperar con el paso del tiempo y les cuentas toda la historia. Una época en la que existió alguien llamado Scaramouche, una marioneta del arconte Electro que deambulaba por el mundo de los mortales. Tras vivir una serie de trágicos sucesos en Tatarasuna, Scara pensó que lo habían traicionado por tercera vez. Fue entonces cuando abandonó Inazuma y vagó por el mundo. Desconfiando de humanos y odiando sobremanera a los dioses, continuó alimentando su ira conforme se volvía cada vez más fuerte. Finalmente llegó el día en el que regresó a Inazuma para vengarse e intentó servirse de su gnosis para convertirse en un dios, pero tan solo acabó perdiéndolo todo. Finalmente se adentró en el Irminsul y descubrió la verdad sobre quién lo traicionó. Ahora que fue consciente de que su vida estaba basada en una sarta de mentiras, cometió una locura impensable para intentar borrar su trágico pasado.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because, well, because he literally changed the world?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But the traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
Realmente lo es.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
Yo no estoy seguro. Siempre hemos sido enemigos. No tengo ni idea de qué fue lo que le llevó a hacer todo lo que hizo, ni por qué siempre se mostró tan despiadado. Yo tampoco logro comprenderlo. ¿Acaso intentó borrarlo todo y comenzar de cero? ¿Quería salvar a alguien? ¿Pretendía destruir por completo su propia existencia? Aún estoy a tiempo de enmendar los errores del pasado. Ha llegado el momento de tomar la decisión correcta. Quizá esa sea la respuesta a todo. Recuerdo que me hizo una pregunta antes de marcharse. En aquel momento dudé y él lo tomó como una respuesta. Dudé porque yo mismo presencié cómo el Irminsul le eliminaba todo rastro de la existencia de la reina mayor Ruka de Bata, pero eso no puedo contárselo a Naida. En otras palabras, no soy capaz de explicar por qué motivo Scara hizo lo que hizo.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
Todo este desastre, ¿y para qué?
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
En efecto.
Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense. Every part of it. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Así es, su esfuerzo logró cambiar el mundo, pero no logró salvarlos, no pudo devolverles la vida. ¿Contra qué luchaba? ¿Las traiciones que vivió durante su vida? ¿Acaso creía que su propia existencia era un error?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something.
A ver.
Found it. This should be the one.
Bueno.
It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Sorprendentemente el registro adquiere el aspecto de un cuento. Qué guapo.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
Esto coincide con todo lo que les
I
conté.
authored this record myself.
Huh? You
Bueno,
wrote
esto
a
supongo
fairy
lo habrá
tale?
hecho ella por
That
si
somehow has
en algún
something
momento
to
de
do
la
with the
historia
balladeer?
se producen
When
cambios en el
combined with the
Irminsul.
traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us, the now erased life of the balladeer.
Buah, chaval, esto está interesantísimo, ¿eh?
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own harbinger.
Nunca antes había tenido esta
It
sensación.
sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it. Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk.
Bueno, si tú lo dices.
Let's go get a snack for one
Vale,
of the
vale.
stalls in the
Otro
Great
logro,
Bazaar.
Poca broma.
That'll be sure to lift our spirits.
De acuerdo, ahora vamos.
It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Lo agradezco, Paimon. Parinama, zorro, gato, ave y monstruo. Resuelve el acertijo de Naida y descubre el pasado de Scaramouche. Uy, uy, uy. Vale, entonces ahora tenemos que ir justamente allí. Antes de irme voy a ver si me dice algo más, Naida.
There's a few things I'd like to look into.
Vale, no dice nada. Bueno, pues nada, el primer lugar que nuestra hermana, nuestra gemela pisó fue Caenria. Cuidado con eso, Ninguna broma, señores. Cuidado con eso. Sumeru. El curry es un alimento típico de Sumeru. Joder, pues yo me lo comería ahora mismo, tío. Dicen que cada familia tiene su propia receta, no sé. Pero yo haría un platazo con curry ahora mismo. Arroz al curry, a ver. ¿Por dónde habrá que ir ahora? Esa es la pregunta tan interesante. Realmente no sé si... Ah, hay que bajar, vale, vale. Ah, por el Gran Bazar. Para despejarnos, ¿no? Muy bien, pues aquí estamos, en el Gran Bazar. Tocará despejarse, señores. Tocará despejarse. Sí, señor.
What should we eat first?
Tengo un mal presentimiento, como si algo no encajase, como si hubiera olvidado algo muy importante.
Are you gonna answer or what?
A ver... Perdona, Paimon, estaba pensando en algo.
All something to eat.
¿Qué era? ¿Sería algún tipo de pista? ¿Era algo sobre el Irminsul y eliminarse a uno mismo? Reina mayor ruca de bata, conocimiento prohibido.
What
Naira.
is it? Have you figured it all out?
Sí, eso es. La reina mayor ruca de bata dijo que nadie puede eliminar su existencia por completo. Ni siquiera ella misma. O si no, ¿por qué habría creado su propia reencarnación en la reina menor Kusanali para que se adentrase en el Irminsul y la eliminara? No tendría sentido.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No puedo contárselo a Paimon. Ella no sabe nada sobre la reina mayor ruca de bata. Pero es un detalle crucial. Scara no ha podido borrar su existencia por completo, así que ¿qué ha pasado con él realmente?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last
Coño.
bill. Look, here.
¿Qué es esto? Bueno.
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsetias and ran off. Look,
Qué ladrón.
if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
Ese chico es Scaramouche.
He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsetias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Pues sigámosle.
Okay, stay out of sight.
Bueno, cuidado, hay que camuflarse. A ver, sigue la persona que viste. Vale, pues la voy a seguir, pero que no me vea. Ah, hay que salir. Bueno, pues nada, salgamos. No, espera, o sea, hay que ir allí. Bueno, pues me teletransporte, que parezco listo yo. Parezco listo yo. Ya hemos llegado, así de fácil. Claro, joder. A ver, trotamundos.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Paimon, shh.
Oh, all right.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
Ver para creer.
You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us.
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
Pues sí, te estábamos siguiendo.
Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Así es.
I have no recollection.
Es difícil de explicar, pero yo sí te conozco.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
Puedo demostrártelo. Eres una marioneta.
Puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be
Me
important.
gustaría llevarte a un
Okay,
sitio.
but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
De acuerdo.
Let's return to the city.
Bueno, pues bien. Vuelve al puesto de fruta, volvamos. Pues nada, tocará volver. Joder, qué tremendo esto, ¿no? Vaya cambio tan drástico. No sé, al final el juego es un ciclo interminable y un bucle no solo temporal, sino también atemporal, incluso. Es que es una locura.
The wind rises.
A ver. Ah, que ya. Vale, vale.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable.
But I don't...
Bueno, tranquilo. Venga, vamos.
No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Venga, vámonos, vámonos. De acuerdo, vuelve al santuario Surastana. Bueno, esto está calentito, ¿eh? Yo creo que ahora sí que se acerca el momento clave. Vamos a reunir de nuevo a Naida con Scara. Y a ver qué ocurre. Venga, vamos. Ya estamos aquí. Perfecto, entramos. Pues sí. Vamos a ver qué ocurre. No sé si hoy terminaremos toda la misión, pero estaría bien. Estaría bien, aunque lo dudo, ¿eh? Pero nunca se sabe. Vale, pues vayamos para allí. Naida, tengo cositas. No solo noticias, sino compañía.
Nahida! Nahida!
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
Bueno, le cuentas a la reina Menorcusa Nelly cómo encontraron al trotamundos en el Gran Bazar.
Say that you are trekking across Teyvat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called...
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation? Oh, okay. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
Solo estábamos pensando por
If
dónde
it's
empezar.
that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear, but I'll be able to handle it. Please,
Bueno,
tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
Naida le habla al trotamundo sobre su pasado.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
Éramos archienemigos.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything!
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
De acuerdo, lo haré.
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
Bueno, pues tocará acceder. Ah, vale, que es un dominio. Cuidado, poca broma, vamos a ir así. Y obviamente con el propio Scara también voy a ir. Bueno, vamos a ver, señores, porque yo no sé. A ver, aquí estamos.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth. But be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Sounds like an immersive experience. It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
Y ahora hemos venido a terminar lo que
All right.
empezamos.
Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground. You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Vale, pues no sé, tocará moverse, buscar...
Quit following me.
¿Dónde ir? Esa es la pregunta. Y no tengo ni idea. Ah, por aquí. De acuerdo, oye, pues... Tío, esto ya nos recuerda un poco a Inazuma de nuevo, porque... Encima cofres, cuidado, poca broma. Joder, no me lo puedo creer, voy a tener que hacer eso. A ver, rápidamente, artefactos. Voy a mejorar alguno que tengo por ahí. Me quiero quitar de encima este, tío, que este me decepcionó, pero es que ya para dejarlo a medias, pues no, tampoco, la verdad. Así que rápido, añadir. Tú añade, sin miedo. Que no mejore más la vida, tío. Madre mía, ha mejorado todo lo que no tendría que mejorar realmente. Ni una vez daño crítico ni probabilidad de crítico. ¿Cómo ser un desgraciado tan máximo, tío? Vale, pues ya está.
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed
esto habrá
off
que
by a
activarlo,
landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
Vale, habrá que tocar eso y abrir ya esta puerta, supongo.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Hay un cofre ahí, Ah, bueno, un momento. Las escaleras, es que es por aquí, pero estas escaleras por algún motivo han bajado, Quiero revisarlo, obviamente. Ah, bueno, pero es que es de donde venimos. ¿Y yo para qué quiero estas escaleras? Juego, espabila, por favor. Vale, cuidado que eso nos hace perder un poquito de vida. Nada, pues vamos a bajar. A ver qué ocurre por aquí. Uy. Se ha caído algo, No sé qué ha pasado, pero algo ha pasado.
What are we doing back here?
Bueno, oigo voces.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay, I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Oh.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too. The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
Buah, chaval, qué locura, pobre Scara. Vale, entonces hay que volver a bajar, ¿no? Ah, no, se ha abierto esto. Cuidado, cuidado, cuidado. De acuerdo. Vale, antes de mirar alrededor... O sea, antes de mirar ahí delante voy a mirar alrededor, pero parece que no hay nada. De acuerdo, pues nada, veamos. Uy. Vale. No sé dónde me han llevado, pero... Vamos cambiando como de lugares.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. You continue to drift aimlessly.
Vale, hay
Are you
más.
trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
El bufón. Cuidado porque está hablando el bufón, ¿eh? Creo que es uno de los Fatui. Poca broma con eso, ¿eh? Mira, fue un cofre. Joder, ya me han quitado bastante vida a mi pobre Shogun, tío. Bueno, poca broma con el diálogo ese, ¿eh? Vale, aquí es donde creo que coincidimos por primera vez con Scara,
This place is dark.
Sí, 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 sí. Esto es increíble, tío.
Paimon knows this place.
Exacto.
It's the delusion factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the traveler once encountered the balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar.
Sí. Ya lo recuerda. A cualquiera se le ponen los pelos de punta al pisar este lugar.
Look over there.
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory
¡Hombre!
and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Qué fuerte.
What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
Y ahí fue cuando llegamos nosotros, supongo.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Sigamos, sigamos, hay que seguir.
Why are you staring at me
Hombre,
in silence?
¿alguien más o solo uno?
Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results.
Joder, me ha matado a la Shogun. Madre mía, yo no entiendo una mierda.
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Bueno, pues nada, vamos a ver. Vamos a dejar a Raiden muerta. Ella quería morir. ¿Quién soy yo para resucitarla? La verdad. Nadie, la verdad. No lo soy. A ver, cerdo. Se acabó. Avanza hasta el siguiente recuerdo. Vale, aquí no hay ningún cofre, no hay nada, ¿no? Pero qué lugar tan... espeluznante, ¿eh? La primera vez que pisamos este lugar a mí me encantó. Y la presencia de Scara fue tremenda. Bueno, a ver, que esto tarda, no sé por qué. Cuando salen esos elementos ahí abajo es cuando tarda. Vale, a ver qué pasa aquí, ¿eh?
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru.
¿Sí?
Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they'd think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
Ese es Dottore, él es quien está detrás de todo
It's
esto.
normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
Bueno, tocará seguir. De acuerdo, continúa explorando. Ah, que tengo que mirar esto. Se acabó esta parte. Bueno. No sé cuánto quedará, pero yo llevo 57 minutos ya. Así que espero que no se alargue demasiado. O por lo menos que me dejen salir. Vale, a ver, cambiamos de sitio.
Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass.
¿Quieres decir
Can
que...
you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
¿Será esto lo que se refiere al reino mayor Ruka de Bata? Nadie puede eliminarse completamente a sí mismo, y aunque el Scara de antes se haya ido, esta nueva persona continuará viviendo en su lugar. Los pecados de los que intentamos escapar son una parte inexorable de nuestro
I've always
destino.
felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon my... So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
De acuerdo, señores, cuidado.
You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way!
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
Va, tío, esto ha sido espectacular, joder. Derrota al enemigo, encima solo con Scara. No me jodas, tío. No sé cómo coño lo voy a derrotar, os lo digo. Solo con Scara. No tengo ni idea, tío. No tengo nada que hacer, O sea, ni de coña. A lo mejor solo tengo que esperar, pero...
How amusing. Behold.
Hostia, chaval, se está pasando mucho aquí el juego, No, que estoy muerto ya. Voy a tener que curarle. A ver, es que claro, otra forma de atacarle no sé cuál. Cuidado. Estoy jodido, No sé si tengo que dejar que me mate o qué ocurre. Voy a curarle ahora. Te voy a dar de comer. No me fío ni un pelo. Yo no sé si el objetivo es que en algún momento me mate o matarlo yo, pero... Voy a ver si puedo, no sé, ponerme más fuerza. Aumenta el ataque. Voy a intentar darle cositas así. Mira, ahora sí que le saco más vida, Cómo se nota además. ¡Pum! Sí, yo creo que hay que matarlo, vale. Entonces sí que se puede. Estaba asustado yo. Sí, señor, por favor. Qué bonito, qué delicia, qué delicadeza. Protector eterno de la sabiduría arcana.
Get out of my sight.
Bien dicho.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
Bueno, he recuperado tus recuerdos.
You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Buah, chaval. Anatman. Bueno, pues no hay cofre ni nada, no puedo mirar el logro porque estoy aquí dentro, así que hay que abandonar el recuerdo. Vaya logrito, Anatman. Vale, parece que ya hemos terminado algo,
Welcome back, traveler.
Sí.
Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking...
Ya no quieres que te llamen Scara.
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui. And they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people. And they might not even remember who the sixth is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Digamos que es una retirada estratégica.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Boo.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
Naida no piensa eso de ti.
Oh, right. I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that, traveler. In the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well.
Gracias, Naida. Espero que puedas encontrar algo.
Traveler.
¿Qué quieres?
After I dove into the information torrent in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Quería saber qué había cambiado a causa
So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
No lo hice para que me debieras un
Borrowing
favor.
and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed. which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Me gustaría que le dieras una oportunidad a
Everything's
Naida.
ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Bueno. Es el mismo de siempre. Con algunos matices.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
Pues sí. No queda otra.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too.
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the...
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name,
¿Quieres que decidamos nosotros?
No, Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Bueno, eso del nombre se puede cambiar, pero no sé qué poner ahora mismo, así que...
Have you got anything?
A ver, pues ahí tenemos las reglas y todo el rollo para poder cambiar el nombre. Obviamente no podemos poner cosas que sean insultantes, ¿de acuerdo? Realmente no sé qué poner, o sea... Tengo que elegirlo ahora mismo, me estás jodiendo. A ver, no sé, algún juego de palabras con Scaramouche. Es que no se me ocurre. A lo mejor quito la grabación y cuando se me ocurra la vuelvo a poner, porque ahora mismo estoy perdido, tío. A ver, ¿qué podemos poner? Hombre, puedo poner Scary. Yo qué sé, tío. Si al final esto es algo... Scary. Pongo Scary y ya está, tío. Vaya tela, tío. Sí. Ya está.
Oh, all right. If you say so.
No sé, tío. Así mismo.
Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me.
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one.
¿Qué vas a hacer ahora?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is up to you.
Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been.
De acuerdo.
No nonsense. I like it. All right. Let's call it a day. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true.
Sí.
But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce
Por lo menos ha acabado
so we can
todo.
finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax.
Sí, se agradece todo, Naida. De verdad, increíble misión y hemos aprendido y conocido un poquito más el pasado, el presente y quién sabe si el futuro de Scara en una sola misión. Tremendo, señores, tremendo. Bueno, he puesto Scary, se supone que Scar es cicatriz, ¿no? Si no recuerdo mal. Y la Y, pues... por... no sé. Scary, claro, la película Scary Movie. Bueno, a ver si se carga esto, porque si no... Si no, pues caquita. Caquita, cacota. Juego, espabila. A ver. Bueno, a ver, estos dos.
I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story is dead?
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
Muy bien. Vuelve al lugar de descanso. O sea que tocará volver allí. Tengo que mirar el logro, que no se me olvide, joder. El logro, es cierto, señores, es cierto, el logro. Era Ant-Man o algo así, no sé. A ver, me voy a acercar un poco y miramos el logro. Pero esto ya lo quiero acabar hoy. Esto ya lo quiero acabar hoy. Cueste lo que cueste, porque se vienen cosas calentitas, muy calentitas. Primero, logro. A ver. Anatman. Derrota al protector eterno de la sabiduría arcana del recuerdo. De acuerdo, pues nada. Vamos a continuar por aquí, ahora sí. A ver qué pasa. Sí, sí, ya tocaba. Te compraré algo rico como recompensa. ¿Qué le pasa?
Someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
Eso lo rompió alguien. ¿Quién era, tío? La noche que pasamos aquí, Paimon... es verdad, Paimon se asustó por algo que hizo Scara y lo rompió. Es cierto, es cierto. Pero Scara borró su existencia. Se ha cambiado el transcurso de la historia. ¿Por qué sigue el jarrón roto?
You sound lost and confused.
¿Quién eres?
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate. Like a vase that falls to the ground, whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
The voices disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff?
Que confíe lo que veo. Se refería a mis recuerdos.
Anyway, that face is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up? It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
Bueno. ¿Qué me deparará el futuro? No lo sabemos, pero... Hostia, esa voz, ¿quién cojones era? Dios mío, tío, eso ya nos está dejando... Vale, pincel de la resignificación. Vale. Curioso todo esto, ¿eh? Curioso todo esto. A ver, primero quiero mirar rápidamente el pincel. Aquí está. Un pincel capaz de conceder un nuevo nombre a cierta persona. O sea que ya hemos puesto Scary, pero supongo que aún podemos cambiarlo no sé cuántas veces más. Pero bueno, ahí está la opción, ¿de acuerdo? Y esto es que ahora cada misión nos da protogema, o sea, un deseo automático. Vale, vale. Bueno, el logro final, Cariberto, eso es lo que falta, ¿eh? Pero, un momento. La transposición de la Génesis. Completa la misión, la transposición de la Génesis. Mañana vamos a hacer la legendaria de Faruzan, ¿eh? Bueno, yo os aviso ya. Esto es un evento temporal. Por lo tanto, es lo que empezaré a hacer mañana. Lo voy a dejar en la ciudad de momento. Así que yo de momento me despido y esto es impresionante. Qué ganas de hacer Cariberto, así que no me enrollo más. Disfrutad de vuestros días, pero recordad sobre todo de vuestras noches. ¡Hasta la próxima!